Hello everyone, I am Alka1993 and welcome to day 3 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Advent Calendar series. On day 1 and 2 we got Ceremonial Belt and Box of Friends, and related to those we made Kokimeru Foire, which really isn't related to Ceremonial Belt too much, and Deadly Bird, who is very much related to Box of Friends as it is a direct support card. Now, let's see what is in slot number 3. I was like, where is it here? But it's over here. Open it, see what card is in there, see what we can make of that. I really need to figure out how to properly open this because it's not working. It is in here! Ghostrick Jackfrost! Hey! So is this Ghostrick Yeti, I think? Wonder if that'll be on there too. So, Ghostrick Jackfrost, a level 1 Fiend type Dark Attribute monster, 800 attack, 100 defense. Cannot be normal summoned unless you control a Ghostrick monster, as with most Ghostricks. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can change that opponent's monster to face down defense position, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand in face down defense position. So this is a card that helps stall a little bit. You can special summon from your hand to stop the opponent's attack by flipping it face down, and meanwhile you get an extra summon to defend yourself. So I could create a new Ghostrick card that doesn't directly support this. I could create a thing that works with flip effects, or with changing things to face down or face up. That's what I'll do in the second half of this video. I just love this thing's artwork. And also the glow. You probably can't see this. There's obviously a lot of glow around Jackfrost, but also in the eyes and the mouth of its bag. Oh, you can actually see it pretty well. I like that effect. Alright, let's create a new card that is related to Ghostrick Jackfrost.
It's round 3. Ghostrick Jackfrost. What card will I make that is related to you? Well, I'm thinking of making the first spell card. We've made 2 monsters so far, both level 4. We'll probably make some different level monsters at some point as well. I really would definitely want to make some tuners, maybe some Synchro Succeeds as well. For Jackfrost, I'm thinking a spell, potentially a quick play spell, that as a cost has you return a face down monster you control to your hand, so you can't do it with the opponent's stuff. But it makes sense in any way to do it with your hand with what I've planned for it. So that, and then you do something little like gain a few life points. But I'm thinking more of dealing a small bit of damage, 600-700 or something, because I want to add to the style aspect. And for Jackfrost, it can pretty much stop a direct attack, and the opponent's monsters change to face out defense position. But at the same time, Jackfrost is summoned in defense position, which could stop one more attack. However, with this quick play, so what I've planned for it is you can return something to your hand. So let's say deal 700 effect damage, whatever. And so then nice 700 damage, but then you can then reuse Jackfrost or any other monster that is face down that can do something like that. Sure, like if you just have a face down mystical elf, then you do lose your defenses. So you generally want to use it with monsters like Jackfrost that have a hand effect that you can then reuse. So outside of Ghostricks, I don't think it'll be too useful as long as I make the other effect a little kind of weak. But I think this will be a nice card. I'm not sure if I want to make it a Ghostrick card though, or if I just want to make it not be a Ghostrick spell. All Ghostrick spells and traps that I've looked at, all at some point mention the Ghostrick archetype. They can, like, let's say take Ghostrick Mansion, you can use it outside of Ghostricks, but they do mention the Ghostrick archetype. And because I don't intend to mention the Ghostrick archetype, I think I'll not make it a Ghostrick card. So then you can't really search it, maybe? Is there a search card in Ghostricks? Like search for Ghostrick spell or trap? Let's actually find out. Spell. Yeah, I want Ghostrick spell trap from your deck to your hand. Okay, so Ghostrick Stein can do that. Huh. It's the only one by the looks of things. Do I make it a Ghostrick spell or trap? I think I'm not going to. Yeah, let's make it a more of a generic card. Alright, let's go. We are going to call it... This is the first name that came to mind. The Creepy Steeple, I believe, is the building at the end of the 4th chapter of Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. I might still change the name, but that's the name for now. The effect would be return 1 face down monster you control to your hand. That was the cost. And wait, after cost it's lowercase. After if it's the colon after the like activation requirement, then it's capital, but then it's the semicolon for cost, and then it's lower. But what if it's only the colon? Well, in this case that doesn't matter. Inflicts. How much damage shall we inflict? I don't want to go 500. I want to go a little bit more. 600. Let's do 700. Can this be... How well would this then be able to be used in a burn deck? Jackfrost probably won't be used in a burn deck, but there's maybe other stuff that can go face down? What would you use in a burn deck in terms of monsters? Is it Dice Jar? Potentially, but then Dice Jar can't summon itself, so you just lose your defense. So that's probably not very useful. Battle Faders with Scarecrow, no. Like, Scarecrow isn't even on the field, and Fader is face up, so you can't do that. I think I can do 700. I don't want this to be too strong of a card. I think it'll be decent, and then I'll make sure that it'll be a quick play spell, so that you can use it during your opponent's turn. But then you can only use one of these per turn, I think. And then it's a decent card, nothing too strong. I want to make really good and useful cards, but I don't want to make them overpowered. With Delibird, I'm still a little bit afraid of it, but yeah. Like, for the balance of the game and to keep it fun for everyone, and not just the competitive players, some cards should just be weaker or less competitively useful than others. And that also helps in like video games. When you want to sort of build towards a certain deck, then it's nice to have weaker cards. It's nice for like draft format or something. Anyway, damage to your opponent. This is just the initial text. I'll check it for problem solving card text in a little bit. It'll be a spell. Quick play to everyone. Upload. I'm going to go to my cards because you can only edit them like this. And now I'm going to find an image. Okay, this looks pretty nice. I found a really nice image for Creepy Steeple. The reason I didn't go with it is because that felt more like a continuous spell or a field spell because it's a location. So I took something that's on the road to Creepy Steeple, and I'm gonna call it Spooky Rewind because you rewind, getting your face down monster back in your hand. And because it's spooky, like maybe the spooky part is the 700 damage, I'm just coming up with that right now. Return 1 face down monster you control to your hand and inflict 700 damage to your opponent. Very simple, pretty simple card effect. And it will work with Jackfrost if we take Jackfrost again. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can change that opponent's monster to face down defense position, stopping one attack, and if you do special summon this card from your hand and face down defense position. So you could just have that as a second attack stopper in a sense because the opponent has to attack into it to be able to direct attack again. Or then you can use Spooky Rewind, bring it back to your hand and stop one more attack. It's just one more because by getting rid of Jackfrost, pretty much the next attack you're going to negate is the one that would have been the attack on Jackfrost, but then you still have Jackfrost on the field after that, so it's just one additional stop of an attack. Pretty simple card. I do like it. I think it's a nice card that could work with Jackfrost if this is something that people would run in Ghostricks. The potential is there because a decent amount of Ghostricks do work from the hand. Let's say a Lantern. If a Ghostrick monster you can just target it for an attack, you can negate the attacks for some of this card from your hand if it's in defense position. You can return that as well to use Lantern a second time to stop an attack and then summon it. There's probably some others as well that can be used. And I have this feeling that with Ghostrick Jackfrost and then Ghostrick Yeti being on the cover of the Advent Calendar, that we're going to see Yeti now later on as well. We've seen 3 super rares so far, so I wonder when we're going to get our first ultra, because we're going to get 17 supers and 7 ultras. Yeah, for now, we have created Spooky Rewind, a card that is supposed to help Ghostrick Jackfrost. Please let me know what you think of the card. Would you use this in any kind of deck? Would you use it with Ghostrick Jackfrost in any, or with other Ghostrick cards? Would you like this card to become stronger or not? Oh yeah, I was gonna put that you can only use this once per turn. Let's just copy that from Spellbook of Secrets. You can only activate one. It's not Spellbook of Secrets, it's Spooky Rewind per turn. Sounds about right, okay. Please let me know what you think of Spooky Rewind. Would you use it in any deck? Can you come up with any ideas of how to use it outside of Ghostricks? Please let me know, and I'll see you in the Day 4 video. Goodbye.